Welcome everybody to Studio 214, the show where college students take on bigger than college topics. My name is Cynthia, and today I'm with my co-hosts Randy and Malachi. For this episode, we're going to talk about vacations. Where have we been? Where do we want to go? And find all of that out and more on this episode of Studio 214. So, do we all remember our first vacation?
I hope so. We'll find out soon.
Yeah.
We'll find out soon.
Malachi, let's start with you.
So the first one that I remember, I took some, like back before I remember, like my mom apparently told me I went to St. Augustine, and I don't remember it. I think we had to like evacuate for a hurricane that was coming up, and because I used to live in Fort Walton when I was a little kid, and so there was a hurricane coming up, and we evacuated to St. Augustine. So she has like these pictures of me at this huge castle, and I was like, I figure I would remember that, but I guess not. So the first big one that I remember was going to Disney World. And it was like the first and only trip that I took with like a majority of my family. It was like me, my mom, and my grandma, and then like my uncle, aunt, and my cousin. And that was the main part. And there was the first trip where we actually organized stuff. Because when we go somewhere now, it's just like, let's go to a location and just figure it out from there. Like we'll have one main thing that we want to do.
Yeah.
For example, like we go to New Orleans a lot because they're Saints fans. We go for the Saints game. But we only have, we have 3 days, and the Saints game is like a couple hours. Right. So we just do whatever we want in that town.
Yeah.
But for Disney, I found out, so I'm nosy, so I found out that we were going, and I like kept it a secret until I was eating at Red Elephant, rest in peace Red Elephant, and I was talking about Disney a lot, and my mom was like, why are you talking about Disney a lot? And I was like, I know that we're going to Disney World. But then I later found out, that's randomly, I don't know, it just came up in conversation, that the reason that we went is because my grandma found out that she had, like, it wasn't, like, terminal, but she had a form of cancer.
Yeah.
And so she was like, okay, well, if I do pass, I want to have, like, a one final trip. Yeah. And I was like, why didn't y'all tell me that?
Yeah.
Me and my cousin were oblivious.
Yeah.
So we had, like, a fun time, you know. We had, we called our grandma the Fast Pass because she had the little hover round.
Oh, yeah.
And so in order for her to get, she wanted to ride the rides. And I was like, okay, she's being valid. But in order for her to ride the rides, they had to go through like the wheelchair entrance. And so we had to like call an attendant up, and they let us through the back. And we got to ride the ride.
Nice.
That's a new kind of Fast Pass.
And it was a new kind of Fast Pass. Little life hack. Just bring your grandma and then have her rent a hover round and wheel everywhere.
Or put a cast on.
Yeah, you can put a cast on.
And then just get your own.
I feel like a lot of things with Disney World, you can get away with a lot because they want to please their audience. Just ask first.
Yeah.
And that was one thing that I noticed about Disney World that was kind of cool is like they have culture there that not a lot of other parks do. Like I remember finding out about the pin trading. I don't know if y'all know about that. Card or whatever to get in, and you have like pins on it. And if you have a pin that you got that you don't really like, you can trade it with one of the workers that have like this. They're dripped out in chains.
Yeah.
And they give it to you for free as long as you give them one.
One for one.
Yeah.
Like a secret society.
Exactly. Yeah. I remember that the first character that I met was Stitch from Lilo and Stitch, and I thought it was so cool. Yeah. I think I have a picture of it. But I thought it was so cool. I was like, oh, now we're like locked in. Because I went in Disney World. I was like, this is it. Like, I think I went to wherever the Space Mountain ride is first. I didn't go to the castle first. So I was like,
is that Magic Kingdom?
I think it's Magic Kingdom, but it's on maybe the other side of it.
Yeah.
And then we went to the castle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember like meeting Stitch, and that's when I was like, we're at Disney World.
Yeah.
No, Space Mountain is Epcot.
I feel like it's Magic Kingdom, but it's on the right side.
Okay.
It's in, like Futureland or something like
that.
Yeah.
That's right.
And they had like the People Mover and all that stuff. I barely remember it because I was like in 4th grade. Yeah. But I thought it was pretty cool. I think it was a cool moment. I don't think I would ever go to Disney World again unless like it was paid for.
Right.
Like I'm not paying for myself to go there. I'd rather go to like Busch Gardens or Universal or like those two mostly if I want to go for rides.
Right.
But what about you, Randy?
So since my first vacation was probably in black and white, I'm the oldest person in this class, program, whatever. I'll talk about my kid's first vacation.
Okay.
So she was 5 years old, and we went on a cruise for her first vacation. And I'm like, Mom, you're tripping because I'm way better parent than you are. Because that was also my first cruise, you know, and I was like 30 something. So, and it was pretty dope because I got to see her kind of look at how big the boat was, and she was just so excited about being able to like eat pizza whenever she wanted to and check out all the different rides. And we did as much kid stuff as we could with her, but she didn't want to really separate from me. So we did most of the vacation time together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what cruise line was it?
It was Carnival.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you had like the bumper cars. And
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They have a bunch of cool kid stuff. I've never been on a Carnival one, but I've seen like the videos.
Yeah, one notable moment on that cruise, it was maybe like midnight, you know, and my kid was hungry. We're on vacation in the middle of the ocean. So we go to get some pizza because you can get pizza whenever you want. And we're there, and all of the drunk people come out, and they're like, what's this kid doing out here, and this and that. I'm like, dude, we're in the middle of the ocean. She's not going to school tomorrow. Just eat your pizza and leave us alone.
Yeah.
And they did.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. She was an adult that day.
Yeah. Yeah. Or maybe they were kids that day.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Exactly. You flip the script. What about you, Cynthia?
Yeah. What about you?
My first major vacation was me and my family went to Chile to go visit my family. I was around 8 years old, so like I remember most of it, but it's still like a little fuzzy.
Yeah.
But I just remember how lovely the whole country was, the atmosphere, and obviously getting to see my family for the first time because since we live here in the States, none of my family is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think now I have one cousin that lives here in the States, but still everybody from my dad's side at least is in Chile. Still. So I got to meet everybody. I got to meet all my cousins, my uncles, and my grandpa and my grandma when she was still alive. But so it that was really memorable for me because I got to meet her and. And I have a funny story where, since my family is in the States, they didn't teach me Spanish. So the whole time I was literally like just gripping my sister because she understood Spanish, and like I couldn't really talk to my family. So, and some of my cousins do know English, so I would talk with them mostly. But for some reason, my aunt wanted to spend the night with me. And because, like, how we have our, like, the housing situation was that my grandpa lived in one house, then my aunt, and then my other aunt, and then my uncle. So it was, like, kind of like our own, like, street.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was super cool. So, like, literally, like, our house was not that far away. So, I thought since I was 8 years old that I would be a big girl and I would, go with my aunt, spend the night with her. It was literally just one night. But when we got there and like I really could not talk with her and so I was just kind of sitting there like this was a bad idea.
At 8 years old.
Idea.
Yeah. A regret at 8 years old.
I fully regretted it. But me being like being young, I thought, well, the house is literally right over there. So I snuck out. Of the house, and I walked to my grandfather's house because my parents were there. And this is dead at night. My aunt did not even know. So I literally snuck out of the house, and with no shoes on, like literally was like holding my pillow, and I knocked on like the window of my parents' room. I was like, let me in, because I started hearing like coyotes.
Oh no!
I was like, this was such a bad idea. Let me in. And for some reason, like a lot of the houses don't have doorknobs in the front. I don't know why, but there's no doorknob, so I couldn't get in. So once my mom heard me, she let me in, and she's like, "What the heck are you doing?" I was like, "I couldn't stay the night. I couldn't do it." So
I don't know what she's saying.
Yeah.
You got homesick, but you weren't at home.
Literally.
Yeah.
So So she let me in, and I slept with them in their bed. So it was just, and like when my aunt like woke up, I was not there, so she kind of freaked out. And then and she was like, "Yeah, it was probably not a good idea."
Yeah, you traumatized your aunt.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I would have lost it too. Like, what are you thinking, kid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But well, she still laughs about it, so
Yeah.
we're cool.
I hope so.
Yeah, you kept her
Yeah.
alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what's going on? Yeah.
But is there any other trips that you guys remember, or any recent trips that you guys have been?
Recently, I went to Mexico,
Ooh.
and that was pretty cool. I had been before, but this time, I was able to go. We parasailed, which was terrifying. And I'm not afraid of heights, but when we first got in the air, I'm like, man, this is so dope. I can see everything, and it was such a awesome experience to be able to be that high and check everything out.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the rope that was holding us to the boat, and I'm like, that's it.
Yeah.
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 So yeah, it was nervous. Yeah. Nerve-wracking.
I
Yeah.
went parasailing when I was little. I don't even know how I did it because I'm not scared of heights or anything, but like my mom surprised
You with it?
me with it, yeah. And I remember her being like, "Oh, well, we're going somewhere, and I'm not gonna tell you where it's at." And so she like pulled up to the parasailing place, and I didn't know what parasailing meant.
Yeah.
So she goes, "We're going parasailing," and I go, "That's it."
Oh.
I was a little bratty, ungrateful kid. But secretly it's because I did not know what parasailing
Yeah.
meant. And I thought we were going like Disney World. Because
Right.
I watched them YouTube videos where they're like, get in the car, we're
Yeah,
going
let's
somewhere,
go.
I have it packed up. And I was like,
Right.
all right, bet, we're about to go to Orlando, Disney World, let's go.
Right.
No, they pulled like right down the street. And we're like, get on a boat. And I'm like, are we going fishing? Because I'm not trying to do all that.
So how was that, man? Were you terrified the whole time?
I wasn't even terrified. I thought I was like terrified when you like sit on the edge of the boat and then they like lift off. But then once we were in the air, I was chilling.
Okay.
The one thing that scared me was being able to see all the sharks in the water,
Ooh.
and I'm like low-key like looking at the people. I'm like, ride, get
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's awesome.
I've only
Yeah.
done it one time though. But going back to trips, I think one of my more recent trips, I think it was like in middle school, high school. I honestly don't remember. But my favorite one that I took was my cruise that I went on.
Yeah.
It was also a Disney related cruise. It was on the Disney Dream, which is like one of their newer ships. I think they built like one or two more after that. And it was huge. Like there were different things to do. It was only just me, my mom, and my grandma, and we went on St. Patrick's Day. And there were like a bunch of like random things that I remember that were little like tidbits. Like when you walk on to the ship, it's like this huge like ballroom-esque, like this curved staircase. It's very beautiful and grand. And they have like a red carpet, and they have someone with a mic, and they're like, "What's your family's name?" And I'm like, no one's married in our family. So we
Malachi?
have all three different last names. I'm like,
Yeah.
the Miller, Shepherd, Sharer. Like I'm saying, like all. I was like, just say Shepherd. Just
Yeah,
say Shepherd.
yeah.
And they were like, "Welcome to Shepherd family," and everyone in the room will like applaud you as you
wow.
walk on, and I'm
You're
like,
a superstar.
and I'm like,
superstar.
hello.
Oh my God.
"Welcome."
The royal way.
Yeah, I'm like,
I love
hello,
it. I love
everybody.
it. Yeah.
And then they have like a little family like rotation system when it comes to the dinner. So you sit with the same family every restaurant
Every
you go
time.
to.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And they all have like a very oversaturated theme to them. There was like an enchanted garden where like the screens around you, the garden would grow as you eat. And then they had Cinderella's ballroom, which was very fancy. I didn't like that one.
Yeah.
And then there was the animation studio, which was really, really cool because like this was the early days of the digital media journey.
Yeah,
So I was like,
yeah.
okay, this is kind of cool seeing how they like created the characters on the TV screen while I'm eating. And it was more of just like casual food. It wasn't
Right.
like delicacy eating. Like, you know, I wanted just chicken tenders and
Yeah.
like cheesecake. Like,
Tendies
yeah,
and
I want-
nuggies.
Yeah, I want
Yeah.
nuggies with the ketchup.
Yeah.
And then another thing that was really, really cool is they had a club. Not even like a club, but it was like a hangout chill spot called Vibe, I'm pretty sure. And the first day my mom was allowed to go in there because she had to like check me in. You don't have to pay anything. You just go in there and you like sign the check-in sheet, and then they register your little card on that you have on your lanyard that helps you get in your room. And so the next day we pull up and there's a door that's like locked. And my mom was like, "All right, time to drop you off." And she like scanned it, door didn't open. And I was like,
Ooh.
you're not allowed.
Yeah.
And I was like, excuse me, beep, and I unlocked it, and then the door opened, and I said, see you later, sucker, and then I went in there, and then it was St. Patrick's Day, so they had like their own like bartender, but they were like making like custom shamrock shakes, and I was like, all right, you know, this is on my card's linked to grandma's debit, so how much is it? And they're like, no, it's free.
Shake
And I
wasted.
said, yeah, I'm about to get chocolate wasted. Yeah. And then they had that, and then I remember they had like these cool chairs, and they had like they had like Disney like not members, like not TV show members, but like they had specific people that were younger, so they like kind of appealed to the age group more, and so they would like talk about like we played Two Truths and a Lie, we played like games in there, and then they had what the most memorable part of it was they had their own like Guitar Hero thing in there. I was locked in. Locked in. That's all
night.
Yeah. My mama texted me, where you at? I'm like, it's like 1 a.m. I'm like, I'm playing the Guitar Hero. Yeah. You would think I would be exploring the ship more, considering we spent like bands on going on that ship.
For sure.
But no, I was locked into Guitar Hero, just playing, I think I was playing Reptilia by The Strokes. Nice. I think that's who it's by. But I was playing that song just over and over and try to go like up in difficulty. I only got to medium. Yeah. And then the last thing that I really, really liked was, the whole reason I wanted to go on it is because when I was a little kid, I would like look up YouTube videos on places I want to go. And I overstudied on way too many places. And one of them was the Disney Dream, because they had the biggest on-cruise water slide called the Aqueduct. And
Aqueduct. That's official.
The Aqueduct. Yeah. And it's a clear slide that goes off the ship for a little bit. It does a loop off the ship, and then it does a lap around the top swim deck, whatever, pool deck. Yeah. And it lights up at night, and it was like really, really cool, especially if you like ride it at night, because on the pool deck they would stream movies that were either like not out yet or like about to come out. Like I remember Beauty and the Beast, the live action one, was about to come out, so they showed it early on the ship. Exclusive. Yeah, because I mean they had the rights, so they're like, why not? Yeah. And they just play it all night. So like if you're like drunk or you're trying to like go
Why'd you look at me?
Well, no, I was gonna say the drunk people from the cruise that he was referencing.
Okay, all right, good save.
Or if you're trying to eat pizza with your daughter,
good save.
You know, you can go out to the pool deck and you can just watch the movie for free. Yeah. And so my grandma actually wanted to go on it with her old self. I do not know how. She was like, Malachi, I want to go on the water slide, and I was like, okay. And so we went on the water slide, and I've never heard her yell. Yeah. Ever. She sounded like my mom. Like she was screaming at the top of her lungs. But it was fun. That was one of the last vacations that we all went on with each other, because my grandma, we had to lie to her a lot. So when there was an event, she's one of those people where, you know, you tell like the events at like 9 p.m., but you're like, all right, the theater play that we're going to is at 7:30, so we need to be out the door by 7. Yeah. So we got to the door, and she's like, why does it say Phantasmic Live is at 9? And we're like, oh, that's the time. And she like was ready to go. She flipped me off. She was like, she's like, don't ever do that again. I was like, but it worked, didn't it?
Yeah.
So but it worked.
I see you get your personality from your grandma.
Yep, basically, yeah, from my grandma,
sure. Yeah. I appreciate that.
I appreciate what about you, Cynthia? What was your favorite one?
Well, my most recent one was me and my family went to Virginia, because my sister is living there now. So we went to, because she lives literally like 30 minutes from Washington, D.C. So we went to D.C. We went to go see all the museums and the Smithsonian's and all that stuff. And then we took a drive to New York. And we just literally drove through New York. Because it was terrible that morning. The subway got shot up. So we're like, we're not touching that.
We're gonna stay inside the car.
Mental health is next week, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, we can bring that back up then. Yeah.
Trauma.
Yeah. So, but we took a lovely drive around literally almost all the places in New York. We went to go see. My mom really wanted to go see Ground Zero, so we went and drove around, and went to Times Square. We drove next to Central Park, you know, just all those places. And there was a lot of, like, really good, like, really nice cathedrals. And it was just really cool.
Yeah.
I like when you get there, you don't think that it'd be so like jam packed, and crowded, but like literally like you just are in a sliver of street with just huge buildings.
Yeah.
So like it was super cool.
Yeah.
It was very claustrophobic.
Not that I don't know, but for the people that are watching that don't know, what is Ground Zero?
Ground Zero is the place where the Twin Towers were. So.
Like is it Memorial?
Yeah,
Memorial
basically
site.
the memorial for it.
Is that the thing that the dude jumped in? Did you see that?
No.
It's like this. It's like you're talking about. It's like the big pit,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Yeah. So I guess someone was like, this past year, someone was like, oh, there goes my thing. Someone was like mourning someone that passed away in 9/11.
Oh no.
And they were like, I want to be closer with them, and jumped in there.
No.
And it's a huge,
Yeah.
like, there's no ladder to get up or anything.
Yeah.
And there's a video of him like swimming in it, and I'm like, I mean, I know you're related to someone, but
Yeah.
this has to be disrespectful in
Yeah.
some way. And I was like, first of all, how did he survive?
First
Yeah.
of all.
Because
yeah.
it's a
It's
big
a
drop.
Big drop, yeah. Because it's literally like just huge indentions of where the buildings were,
Yeah.
and those buildings were not small.
Yeah, no.
Right. That's
yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys watching this, like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do
Yeah.
not
Be very
advise that.
Don't do
Respectful.
that. Yeah. Yeah. Get some therapy, go to counseling, whatever, but don't jump in ground zero.
in.
Yeah. Don't do that.
But when we were coming back, we found, because it's super hard to find places that have Chilean food, and we found a Chilean bakery, and we tore that place up, honestly. Like, we got almost everything on the menu, and it was just so good. And like the people that own it are full Chileans.
I see.
So it was the authentic experience.
Okay.
And literally, my parents were just eating it up. Like, my mom was just talking.
Yeah.
And my mom is so funny. She's literally, because it is a very tiny building. So if you go to the bathroom, you walk through the kitchen. So my mom's like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Just to
She
talk to
goes
people.
and she talks to the chef.
Ooh, what's this?
And she was like asking, pointers and like how he makes the bread, because like Chilean cuisine is fully like just bread.
Yeah.
And we make awesome bread. Oh, so good bread. And so she was asking like recipes and stuff. So
Nice.
it was so good to have that little chunk of just some culture.
Yeah, it was rich in
For
culture.
a little bit.
Yeah. It's a nice surprise too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really was. And then went back to Virginia and just spent more time with my sister.
Nice.
That's a dope experience. So you went Virginia, DC, New York. Like, that's like cultural overload.
Yeah.
And actually the bakery was in New Jersey.
In New Jersey. Yeah.
So
Okay. I'm glad you didn't mention New Jersey. Like, no one ever like talks about going on vacation in New Jersey.
But it was really cool.
That's
so
awesome.
You went to these 4 states. Are there any other states that you wish to go to, or any other place in general that you would wish to go to? Like what is your dream? Your like final, like, I need to go here and then I can die.
Yeah.
That's it.
I would love to go to South Korea.
Ooh.
Just for the food, honestly. Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The food and like the culture and like I would love to go to one of their temples. It's so
The architecture is beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Beautiful.
I can vouch for that.
Yeah.
I lived there for
Yeah.
a year. Yeah.
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 So I would love to go there. Like, that's ride or die, going there and going to one of the islands, Jeju Island, just to see the mountains and food.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the food like already is like so good.
Nice. What about you, Randy?
I don't necessarily have a dream spot. I've been to a lot of places. One good thing about the military, like probably the best thing, is I was able to travel a lot. But one place that I enjoy going and I will go back to frequently, as I sip my ice cold vodka here, is Las Vegas.
Really?
I love to go to Las Vegas, not for a long time, but because there's always something to see.
Yeah.
There's always something to do, and there is a lot of good food to eat. I've been there probably half a dozen times, and I've seen Cirque du Soleil,
Oh yeah.
2 or 3 different ones, seen some of my favorite artists perform. And man, like every time I go, I don't gamble. I mean, I'll spend maybe $20, but after that, I'm like, ugh, I'm on a fixed income these days, you know. But I probably gain 10, 15 pounds every time I go to Vegas. I mean, and I work out every time I go on vacation, but it's not because I'm just so obsessed. It's so I can eat.
Yeah.
So that's me. What about you?
So mine, I want to go to Los Angeles just because I haven't been on the West Coast ever.
Yeah.
Like the furthest I've been to the West is Texas, and that's usually like the middle. I don't really call it the Midwest.
Yeah.
But I want to go there just because of like the pop culture.
Yeah, man.
And all the stuff that I'm like infatuated with is over there. I know like if a smaller artist goes on tour, they usually start there. They never come to Florida, which annoys the crap out of me because most of the people that I used to listen to were smaller artists. So it'd be cool to go to like smaller venues. I think, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure like the House of Blues I think is over there, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
And I know that in general they have smaller venues that are like closer and intimate, and like for example like Billie Eilish's brother Phineas.
Yeah, Phineas.
He used to. Or he released albums that used to be like my favorite to listen to.
Yeah.
And when he did shows, he would do smaller venues in Los Angeles.
Their dynamic is so dope too.
Yeah. Like I love their dynamic, and it'd be cool. Like imagine going to like one of those smaller shows in Los Angeles, spending $50 to get the floor seat, whatever, and then like Billie Eilish comes out. Like that'd be so cool to go to. And then another place I wanted to go to in Los Angeles. I mean, obviously like the Hollywood sign, like Hollywood Boulevard, all that stuff. The Griffith Observatory looks really, really cool.
Yeah.
I think it's cool just because of like you can see all the town, and then also I think it's kind of cool because Adele performed there one time, and all the celebrities were there. So I'd be like, I'm standing on sacred ground.
Yeah.
I'm standing where
hallowed ground.
Yeah, I'm standing on where Seth Rogen and Melissa McCarthy and everyone stood. So now I am one of them. You know,
you're next in line,
exactly,
brother.
You know, I think it'd just be fun. I also think Las Vegas would be fun just for a little short time.
Short time is key. You don't spend weeks in Vegas.
Yeah.
Nah.
I would solely want to go there now. Like I feel like gambling would be fun, drinking can be fun, whatever. But I would go there now if one of my favorite artists performed in the Sphere. I want to save money for that because the experience. I feel that's once in a lifetime.
It is.
Like even if you're like walking outside of it, it looks so cool from the outside. I can only imagine what it looks like.
The last time I was there, they were finishing it up, so I need to go back and see it. Yeah, and I got plenty of friends that live in Vegas.
Yeah.
Plenty of friends. Another episode. Yeah.
Mental health is next week. Mental health is next week.
Yeah, another sip of the vodka. Okay, this is why I am the way I am.
Well, that's all we have for today's episode. Tune in for next week's episode where we will talk more serious or about a serious topic of mental health. So see you next time.